3 reasons to believe the Boston Celtics can turn the 2002 5-6 season into a story no one saw coming. The summer of 2025 was supposed to be a quiet one for the defending champions. Instead, it became a test of identity, resilience, and vision. When Jayson Tatum's Achilles tore during Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals against the New York Knicks, the shockwave did more than remove one of the league's brightest stars from the court. It challenged the entire Celtics organization to redefine what winning could look like without their generational forward. Many teams would have folded, quietly accepted a transition year, and waited for the franchise player to return. Boston did not. Brad Stevens dismantled the core that had just lifted the Larry O'Brien Trophy, moving Drew Holiday to the Portland Trail Blazers and Kristaps Porzingis to the Atlanta Hawks. It was a bold, almost surgical recalibration designed to escape the crushing financial weight of the second luxury tax apron while planting the seeds for a roster that could still fight. That fight now belongs to Jaylen Brown. And here is where the optimism begins. 1. Jaylen Brown's prime is not just arriving, it is demanding center stage for years. Brown has been labeled as the perfect complement to Tatum. That narrative ends this season. With the floor cleared of Hall of Fame veterans and all-star partners, he is walking into a campaign where every possession, every fourth quarter, and every defensive stand will carry his fingerprint. He has already proven he can shine under championship lights, winning Finals MVP in 2024, but this year offers a rarer test, proving he can elevate an entire franchise as the lone alpha. And the supporting cast is not the afterthought some outsiders imagine. Derrick White remains one of the smartest and most reliable two-way guards in the league. Pritchard has shed the label of spark plug off the bench and now steps into a starting role armed with elite shooting percentages that can warp defensive schemes. Add the scoring versatility of Anthony Simons, and suddenly the Celtics' offense is layered in ways that defenses cannot ignore. This is not about surviving without Tatum. It is about revealing a version of Brown that even Boston fans have not fully seen, to a backcourt that can punch above its weight. When Holiday was traded, many assumed the Celtics had weakened their defensive identity. But the pairing of White and Pritchard has the potential to be one of the league's most disruptive surprises. White's defensive instincts are already well documented, but now he is paired with a guard who not only thrives in high-tempo situations, but also brings an efficiency that makes every touch dangerous. Last season's shooting splits for both players were nearly mirror images in terms of production and accuracy, a statistical twin effect that could be devastating when both are firing. The league's scouting reports will prepare for Brown, but if Boston's guards start trading punches from deep, spacing will open in ways that punish even elite defenses. And if Simons transitions into the sixth-man role seamlessly, Boston's second unit could become a relentless scoring engine. This flexibility gives Joe Mazzulla more than just rotational depth, it gives him the ability to dictate matchups instead of reacting to them, a trait that historically separates pretenders from postseason threats. 3. The wildcard return of Jayson Tatum. It is the variable no spreadsheet can calculate. Tatum's recovery timeline remains guarded, but the fact that he is already moving without support has fueled whispers inside the organization that a late-season return is plausible. Imagine a scenario in which Boston has fought its way into a secure playoff position, chemistry sharpened through months of high-pressure basketball, only to then drop a fully rested All-NBA-caliber star back into the lineup. March is an ambitious target, but even a mid-April re-entry could be enough to swing a series. We saw the Indiana Pacers ride post-All-Star momentum all the way to within a single game of the championship last year. The East is still a conference of shifting sands where one hot stretch can change everything. A Boston team with a battle-tested Brown, a confident backcourt, and a recharged Tatum entering the playoffs would instantly transform from a dangerous opponent into a legitimate contender. Beauty of this upcoming season is that the Celtics are not walking the familiar path of a defending champion. They are navigating uncharted waters, where expectations from outside the locker room have been muted, but the hunger inside has only grown sharper. That combination of underestimation and internal belief is dangerous, especially for a franchise with a history of thriving when the spotlight shifts elsewhere. The truth is, this could be the year Boston writes one of its most defiant chapters, turning what many saw as a setback into a launchpad. And when that kind of story begins, the ending is anyone's guess. The full 2025-26 Boston Celtics schedule has finally been revealed, and with it comes an entirely new layer of intrigue about what this season could become. For weeks, Celtics fans had only fragments of information. a handful of dates to circle on the calendar, but now the entire 82-game journey has been laid bare by the league. The season will tip off on the 22nd of October inside the TD Garden against the Philadelphia 76ers, a matchup that instantly sets the tone for a year full of unanswered questions. Officially, 80 games are locked in, with 2 more potentially added depending on the outcome of the NBA Cup, a tournament that could carry unexpected consequences for the roster's momentum and the team's chemistry. And in one of the most surprising scheduling decisions in recent memory, the Celtics will not be playing on Christmas Day for the first time since the year 2015, a move that raises more questions than answers. Of the 5 holiday matchups this season, only one will feature Eastern Conference teams, which reshapes the narrative about which franchises the league wants in the spotlight. During marquee dates, what makes this schedule so fascinating is not just the opponents or the sequence of games, but the unique circumstances surrounding the team this year. Jayson Tatum will be sidelined for the foreseeable future due to a ruptured Achilles tendon. Yet the Celtics still command an impressive 25 nationally televised games, the 7th highest total in the league. This is not the kind of attention given to a team expected to fade quietly into the background. It is the kind of spotlight reserved for franchises that the league believes can surprise everyone. There is an unspoken belief that something unexpected could happen in Boston, and that belief is baked directly into the schedule. Fans are not just being invited to watch games, they are being invited to witness a storyline that could turn in ways no one sees coming. Another layer of intrigue comes from the fact that this season marks a seismic shift in how NBA basketball will be watched. The long-standing relationship with TNT has officially ended, closing a chapter that spanned decades. Now the broadcast landscape is split in a way that fundamentally changes the viewing experience. ABC and ESPN will continue to dominate coverage, including the NBA Finals. But NBC is stepping back into the basketball conversation with a slate of exclusive games, and streaming will have a much bigger role than ever before. Peacock will host select matchups that cannot be seen anywhere else, and Prime Video will broadcast games all the way through the entirety of the playoffs. This is more than just a media shift. It is an experiment in how the sport reaches its audience, and the Celtics are positioned at the center of that transformation. For fans, it means that watching this season will not just be about following the team, it will be about navigating an entirely new ecosystem of basketball access. The context off the court is just as compelling as the battles that will happen on it. The Celtics are navigating a transition year after an offseason that reshaped the roster. Moves involving key players like Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis signaled that the front office is preparing for more than just a single-season goal. They are building a structure that can support a return to dominance when the time is right, without the immediate expectation of contending for a title. The Celtics have a rare opportunity to experiment, to allow younger players to take on expanded roles, and to reimagine the way the offense and defense operate. This kind of season, free from the crushing weight of championship pour-bust pressure, can be the perfect environment for unexpected breakthroughs. A player who has been waiting for the right moment to emerge could seize the spotlight. A lineup combination no one anticipated could become a signature weapon. The seeds of the next title run could be planted in games that casual observers overlooked. Looking at the schedule through that lens, certain stretches take on a deeper meaning. Early back-to-back matchups could test the conditioning and mental toughness of a group still finding its identity. Long road trips could become crucibles where leadership is forged. Games against powerhouse Western Conference teams could serve as a measuring stick for where Boston's evolving roster truly stands, and with the NBA Cup adding a potential competitive twist in the middle of the season, every contest could carry more weight than in previous years. What this all builds toward is a season. The Celtics are not just participants in the league, they are potential disruptors of its storylines. While some will focus on the absence of Tatum and label this as a year of lowered expectations, schedule and the television coverage tell a different story. The league still sees Boston as a team worth showcasing to millions of viewers, a team whose games can shape conversations far beyond New England. It means every tip-off has the potential to become a turning point. Every matchup could be a preview of a future rivalry, and every victory could serve as a reminder that the Celtics never truly step out of contention. They simply regroup. This is the kind of season where a fan base stays alert, not just for the big games, but for the subtle signs of something greater being built. It is a long road from October to April, but if history has taught anything about Boston is that moments of transition often set the stage for moments of triumph. The schedule is now public, the dates are set, and the questions are waiting to be answered. The summer of 2025 in Boston carried an unusual silence for Jayson Tatum, while the city buzzed with roster changes and trade rumors. The Celtics superstar was locked away in a different kind of battle, one that unfolded far from the noise of TD Garden, inside the quiet and demanding walls of a rehabilitation facility. The injury to his Achilles tendon during Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals against New York had not only stopped his season, but momentarily altered the trajectory of an entire franchise. One awkward step, a fall to the hardwood, and suddenly the Celtics' championship push turned into a test of patience and resilience. For most of Boston, the offseason was about strategy and reshaping a roster to stay competitive. For Tatum, it was about waking up each day with one mission that did not involve scoring titles or highlight reels, but regaining the very foundation of his game. Achilles injuries are notorious not only for their physical demands, but for the psychological grind they impose. Rehabilitation timelines often stretch from 10 to 12 months, and every week is a test of willpower. Yet Tatum has embraced this challenge with a determination that feels almost defiant. He has made it clear that he is not treating this as a lost year, but as an investment in a return that could be more explosive than anything Boston has seen from him before. In a rare glimpse into his routine, Tatum recently posted a short video to his social media, revealing just how relentless the process has become. "Rehab station. Lift after that," he said with a mix of fatigue and focus, adding, 6 days a week. Man, I am not here 6 days a week for no reason. There was no staged optimism in his voice, no rehearsed soundbite for the media. It was the raw cadence of someone who understands that the work done in quiet rooms today will shape the noise of arenas tomorrow. The Celtics front office has been watching closely, knowing that every move they make now is not about short-term glory but about positioning the team for the moment Tatum steps back on the floor. In June, Boston executed bold transactions, sending Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis elsewhere. A signal that they were not afraid to reconfigure their identity if it meant securing flexibility for the future. Luke Kornet followed in free agency, another piece shifted in the ongoing puzzle. By cutting salary commitments and sliding back under the league's second tax apron, the Celtics avoided punitive restrictions that could have crippled their ability to act aggressively when the window reopens. This financial discipline is not the kind of headline that sparks social media frenzy, yet it may prove to be the quiet masterstroke that sets up a seismic move in the near future. The uncertainty surrounding Tatum's exact return date has only deepened the intrigue. Will he rejoin the team in the late stages of the regular season? Or will the Celtics choose to hold him out entirely to ensure he is at full strength for the following campaign? That decision will be shaped by countless variables, but one truth remains constant. Boston is constructing its strategy with the belief that when Tatum comes back, he will not merely fit into the existing structure, he will redefine it. There is also the psychological element to consider. A player of Tatum's caliber, sidelined for an extended period, experiences the game differently. Watching from the sidelines, seeing the flow of the offense, the tendencies of opponents, the adjustments of coaches, all without the distraction of being in the heat of the action, can sharpen perspective. Many players return from long injuries, not only with restored physical capabilities, but with an elevated mental approach. For someone already known for his basketball IQ, that combination could be devastating for opponents. Injuries can either fracture a career or forge it into something stronger. Boston's history is filled with moments where adversity became the soil from which new triumphs grew. Tatum's journey right now is less about the injury itself and more about what it will reveal. Every set in the weight room, every hour spent with trainers, every moment of doubt pushed aside, all of it is building toward a comeback that could be one of the most significant in franchise history. The Celtics are not just holding their breath, waiting for his return. They are building a foundation designed to explode into motion when he does. And if the last few months have proven anything, it is that both Tatum and the organization understand the magnitude of that moment. When the time comes, the roar inside TD Garden will not just be for the points he scores, but for the months of unseen struggle that made them possible.